guys, it's Ava, and today I'm back with a kind of back to schoolish video. This is going to be tips for like good studying. Now if you're going into 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, college, anything, these will help you and keep you on top of everything. And I'm going to say it and then I'll kind of explain why, because I've had experience with studying, not studying, when I didn't study, what happened when I did study, what happened, and overall studying is good and where to do it, how to do it. All that stuff is very important to be effective and to do good on a test. So yeah, let's get into it. First is taking notes. Notes are so important, and if you have good note taking and you have the skill of note taking, this will help you with a test so much. So you want to always have, like, if you have like math, science, social studies, LA, and like history, or like health, and all of your different classes. Those were just kind of the basic academic ones, but if you have all of those, keep a spiral notebook for each one so that you're not confusing each subject, everything gets all mixed up, you get disorganized, and it's just a big mess. So you wanna, even if you got like a 5-subject notebook that's like big, you can divide each section into notes. So you want to date each entry in your notebook, because if you don't, if I was taking notes for like January 8th and the test is the 10th, but I'm looking at notes from December 19th, but you thought that it went to your test in 2 days, you're going to be studying the wrong thing. So you always want to make sure you date your notes, or else you might be studying the wrong. When you're note taking, you do not want to just write sentences and sentences. Bullets can really help because you're getting to the point, and you also don't have to worry about being behind when your teacher's talking. So if they're telling you stuff and you need to write it down, don't write word for word what they're saying. You just want to kind of write down like little key points. You don't want to like miss important words. You want to write down everything that's important, but you don't want to do it word for word, because that's probably going to stress you out and you're going to rush, write down the wrong thing, miss something. So you just want to do kind of bullet points with keywords. Now, I know when I'm taking notes, I love to use different colors. So in my little pencil holder, I have all these different colored pens. So let's say green is for science. Ooh, my camera's a little off. And then I could have blue is for math. This helps certain people. This does not help everybody, but it helps me. And if you're one of the people who likes to have things color-coded with like this kind of thing and this, definitely color code, because I used to not, and I don't like looking at black when I see, or blue, but when I see all the different colors, it just kind of helps me to like organize it, and it looks a lot neater too if you're kind of like a neat freak. So yeah, color coding, even like highlighting for important keywords. If you wrote down kind of a long sentence while taking notes, you can just highlight those keywords that you really need to know for studying. Now, hopefully your teacher was not like mine and gave you a test 3 days in advance, but if you have even like 5 days that you know, if it's on a Monday and if it's on a Friday and you found out Monday, once you take notes, you want to take them as soon as possible, so that as soon as you take them, you can, review them like as much as possible. You don't want to be like that one person who all they do is review their notes. You like can't talk to them because they're reviewing, but you want to review them at least like every night as a part of your homework. If you have siblings or parents that are willing to help, have them kind of read it and you do it. If not, you can cover what you're like learning and what you need to know. Look at the word, say it's like vocabulary, and you have a word, cover the definition if you don't have somebody to test you. And that will really help, because if you study every night, especially the night before and the morning of the test, that will help so much because it's fresh in your mind. If you study Monday and don't any other days, and then you get it Friday and you're like, I'm guessing you can't memorize something for 5 days and just keep it in your brain, all of this big study guide that you need to remember, you probably can't remember it that long. So if you miss a couple nights, that's fine, but you want to make sure you do it the night before and the morning of, because it stays fresh in your brain. I know I've done it like right that morning in like homeroom, and that helped a ton because I had like all of the things in my mind. And so yeah, that really helped me to do it right then, so you can remember everything. This might not apply to you, it may apply to you though. So if you have a textbook for the class that you have a test in, use it. Like, it's not just there just to make you annoyed when you have to take it out and read it. You might not get assigned to use your textbook. Your teacher might not give you pages to read or to use for studying, but it doesn't take that much work and not that much time to find what you're getting tested on in your textbook. If you can find it, then you're pretty much golden, because there's so much more information in a textbook than there is in a study guide. And you definitely want to use your study guide because that's the exact things that you're going to be learning. But a textbook has everything, and you can skim through it, highlight things that have to do with what you're learning on your study guide, and it gives you a little more information. Things like science tests, social studies, not so much like English, but things where you have to draw. I know in social studies, when we had to learn maps and memorize them, I would take home blank copies and I would write them in maybe like 3 times, and I would do it in like a sheet protector, and then I would use a whiteboard marker, and that helped so much to memorize it. For science, if you have to memorize how to draw like structures, you can keep practicing those, and you do not want to wait for the night before. Drawing, like, it takes a lot more memory than words, which either way, some people can memorize words better than drawing, but for me, if I have to remember to draw something, say like you're trying to draw a cell, you have to remember every part of it, and that for me takes draw, keep drawing it over and over, and that really helps to help memorize it. This is kind of a big one, not to stay up all night. Most people in high school and college will stay up all night trying to study, like trying to stuff it all into your brain. That is probably one of the worst things you can do before a test, because number one, it's gonna make you so stressed out, like thinking that you need to like memorize every single last word. Also, you're not getting a good night's sleep. Sleep is so important before a test because you want your brain to be nice and fresh, and you want to be awake. You don't want to be like half asleep while you're doing your exam or test or whatever you have. So pulling an all-nighter is not a good idea. You want to be physically prepared, not stay up all night, not get any sleep, and then go to school and take like a big exam. And getting a good night's sleep just is so important. You want to also eat a good breakfast because that'll keep you from not being hungry. You want to go to the bathroom before an exam. That'll keep you from not having to go during it and having to get up, and sometimes that can distract you from what you had in your head. If you're answering an open response and then you have to go to the bathroom and you go, you're probably going to lose what was on your mind by getting distracted while you're out in the hall. These are the last couple things that I have to say. These are really important. You never want to miss tests, because then you'll have to make it up. If you did all that studying and then you're sick and you don't study the day that you're sick, or if you just miss school just because and there's an exam and you don't study the day that you stay home, nothing's going to be fresh in your mind the next day. Next is when you're studying, make sure to save all your stuff, because sometimes teachers will do like a test that kind of incorporates those things that you learned 5 months ago. My math teacher did that all the time, and he included things that we learned before, and it's not even that he covered things that we did in September. He said, oh, well, this has to do with whatever you're learning now, so I hope you still have your papers, and I told you to not throw them away, because when you're learning blah, you're going to need to know how to do what you did in September, and most of the time you don't remember how to do that because it was 8 months ago. So always remember to save all of your work. And yeah, those were all my tips. Studying is so important for school, and all those things that I just say are so important, and I hope you guys kind of took to heart this video, because if you kind of go the opposite way of all those things, you're not gonna do good on your test, most likely, unless you're just like this human genius that knows everything possible and you never need to study because you're the smartest person in the world and you know everything, which probably doesn't happen to you. So yeah, I recommend taking most of these tips because they really help. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and like this video if you want to see some more back to school videos. Subscribe if you're not already, because when you do, my next video will pop up in your YouTube feed, which you can go watch and enjoy, hopefully. And yeah, so make sure to comment down below any video requests that you want. Yeah, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!